Hey everyone! Have you ever felt completely lost trying to deal with the healthcare system? It's a feeling so many of us have, and today we're going to figure out why. We're breaking down the biggest challenges that make finding good care feel, well, almost impossible sometimes.
Right? It's this exact feeling. It's like you've been dropped into a maze, blindfolded, you know you need to get to the end, you need help, but every turn is a dead end, the map makes no sense, and you're not even sure you're going in the right direction.
Okay, but what if we could take the blindfold off? What if we had a blueprint of the maze? Well, this infographic from the World Health Organization is exactly that. It maps out the 9 biggest challenges in any health system. So let's use this as our guide and walk through it step by step to see where all the walls and pitfalls really are.
Let's start right at the beginning of the journey. Before you even see a doctor, before you even get in the door, you're faced with what we can call barriers to entry. It feels like the front door to the whole system is just locked.
So let's picture a patient. We'll call her Alex. Alex is feeling sick. But you know what her first problem is? It's not actually medical. It's an information problem. Where does she go? Who's the best doctor for what she has? What are the options? This is the very first wall she hits.
And this information wall, it's not just one thing. It's a bunch of stuff all at once. It's a lack of good, reliable data about which clinics are any good. It's communication roadblocks, so her family doctor can't talk to the specialist. And it often means her medical records are scattered all over the place, like a puzzle with missing pieces. You can't see the whole picture of her health.
Okay, so let's say Alex gets lucky and finds some decent info. What's the next wall? Availability. She might find the perfect clinic, but it has a 6-month waiting list because there just aren't enough doctors. Or maybe the local hospital has the specialist she needs, but their main diagnostic machine has been broken for weeks. The resources, they just aren't there when you need them.
So Alex has somehow navigated the information maze and the waiting lists, and she finally has an appointment. Phew! But now, she's up against maybe the biggest challenge of them all, the actual quality of the care. And we're not just talking about a doctor with a nice bedside manner. We're talking about whether the treatment is actually effective and, safe.
This quote, this gets right to the heart of it. When the people providing care don't follow the proven, science-backed guidelines, then the care you get is basically a gamble. It puts patient safety at risk. And really, what's the point of getting through the door if the help you get inside is subpar or even dangerous? Okay, let's keep following Alex. She's made it past the front desk, she's in the system, and she's sitting in the doctor's room. But believe me, the challenges are far from over. This is where things get really personal.
Now here's a challenge we really don't talk about enough. Acceptability. A doctor might suggest a treatment plan that is, 100% medically perfect. But what if it completely goes against a patient's cultural beliefs or their personal values, or just isn't practical for their daily life? Exactly. Think about it. What good is a world-class service if the patient either can't or won't accept it? This is where that human element is so critical. If the care isn't delivered in a way that respects the whole person, it's just going to fail. The best medicine in the world is useless if the patient won't take it.
And that leads us right into the next problem, utilization. Because even when care is available and acceptable, people might not actually use it. Why? Well, all kinds of practical reasons. The clinic could be a 2-hour bus ride away. The treatment plan might be way too complicated to follow at home. Or, and this happens all the time, patients just get lost to follow-up and never finish their care.
And then we come to the giant in the room, cost. This phrase from the source material, catastrophic health expenditure, is just so powerful. It's not just an expensive bill. This is an expense so huge it can literally destroy a family's financial future for generations.
And that's because the problem isn't just that healthcare is expensive. It's a total system failure. When there's no financial safety net, no coordinated way to handle payments, getting sick can mean going bankrupt. The maze isn't just confusing you, it's actively draining your wallet when you're at your absolute weakest.
So far, we've been walking in Alex's shoes, seeing this all from a patient's point of view. But now, I want us to zoom out. Let's look at the invisible, systemic cracks that cause all these problems in the first place. This is kind of like the ghost in the machine.
Let's start with a big one, efficiency, or more like inefficiency. This slide shows the domino effect perfectly. It starts with something that sounds kind of boring, like inadequate workflow management. But that snowballs into poor planning, which means Alex's test results get lost or her surgery gets delayed for weeks. Inefficiency isn't just an annoyance, it has a real, painful human cost.
So, when things inevitably go wrong, what happens then? Well, that's where accountability is supposed to come in, or more often, the total lack of it. Who is actually responsible when care fails? Is there any way for patients to give feedback and actually have someone listen? A lot of the time, the answer is a flat no.
This quote right here is a fantastic, concrete example. A lack of transparency in commodity transactions. What does that mean? It means nobody can see how things like medicines and supplies are being bought and sold. It's a massive failure of accountability that can hide waste, corruption, and inefficiency. And guess who pays the price? The patient, always.
And finally, all of these other problems, they all feed into this last massive challenge, equity. This comparison just makes it devastatingly clear. The healthcare maze is not the same for everyone. For some people, yeah, it's a pretty clear path. But for others, because of things like low health literacy or other systemic barriers, it's an impossible puzzle with no solution. So, after walking through all 9 of these challenges, from getting basic information all the way to equity, what's the big takeaway here? How on earth do we even start to solve a puzzle this complicated?
When we look at the full blueprint again, the most important insight just clicks into place. These are not 9 separate problems. They're a tangled web. See, a lack of accountability allows for poor quality, which then drives up costs. Inefficiency creates those availability problems we talked about. You can't just fix one piece by itself, because pulling on any single thread just makes all the other knots even tighter.
And that leaves us with one final and really crucial question. If all of these challenges are so deeply connected, where do you even begin? If we want to build a system that actually works for everyone, which one of these tangled, messy problems do you think we have to tackle first? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this one.